Hello there you guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current transfer rumours and the latest gossip that is currently going on now in the press. So, just to basically update you with now, this is about David Luiz, the current Chelsea player who can play as a defensive mid and can also operates as a centre back as well. David Luiz. So reportedly, it has come from the press yesterday, and it's in a couple of media outlets today. It's been reported from ESPN as well. Reportedly that David Luiz has had a fallout with Conte and had a bust up with Conte, and it did say he may consider joining Manchester United. David Luiz in the current process, because obviously Manchester United have already done business with Chelsea, as we all know. Back in August, we got the sign of Nemanja Matic for £40 million. So potentially Mourinho is actually keen on possibly making a move for David Luiz, because Mourinho's got quite a few players on his agenda. But are Chelsea preparing to offload to a current rival? Because obviously we knew they offloaded Matic to us as well, but reportedly David Luiz may consider making the move to Old Trafford, and obviously Jose Mourinho is keen on reuniting with the player, because Jose Mourinho has worked with David Luiz in the past as well. So David Luiz in the Premier League all in all has made 122 appearances. He has scored 8 goals as well, but he is a very, very good player. I think he's made 8 starts this season as well. He's a very, very good player, versatility, very, very good, hard-working player. Very, very good hard-working player. Versatility, very, very good. He's got fantastic technique. His physical strength's very, very good. His defensive distribution's very, very good. He's very, very distinctive in his play is David Luiz. So reportedly about David Luiz that he's had a bust up with Conte, he's had a fallout with Conte, and he did say reportedly is considering making the move to Old Trafford is David Luiz as well. So he has reportedly he's linked with a move to Manchester United is David Luiz. So David Luiz, who made his international debut in 2010 for Brazil, he's earned over 50 odd caps, I think. He also was part of the squad with Brazil who won the 2013 Confederations Cup as well, and also in the FIFA World Cup in 2014 he reached the semi-finals as well, did David Luiz. But we know that he's won mainly where he's been, because we know he was at Benfica for about 3 or 4 years as well. He won the title and that with Benfica. And then after Benfica, Chelsea had got him basically, and he was at Chelsea. He's at Chelsea now, but he was at Chelsea 3 years. Basically, he won the FA Cup with them, the Champions League and the Europa League with them as well. And then after that, during his 3 years there, he went to Paris Saint-Germain for a couple of years, and Paris Saint-Germain had purchased him for a world record fee for defender of £50 million. He won all 4 domestic competitions, as well at Paris Saint-Germain. And then Chelsea had repurchased him back in 2016 for just £30 million. So if Chelsea are considering selling David Luiz, they may recommend the estimated fee basically that they paid for him back from Paris Saint-Germain, which was £30 million. So Chelsea could demand £30 or £34 million for David Luiz as well. So this is broken out in the press. Jose Mourinho has worked with him in the past, and Jose Mourinho basically has looked at quite a few players in the current process. He's got quite a few players on the agenda, because obviously the board have made it clear to Mourinho he has to sell before he can currently buy as well in the current process. But we've looked at quite a few midfielders. We still definitely need a creative winner in the team as well. But David Luiz will be very, very good, because he can play as centre back. He can play as a defensive mid as well. Can David Luiz? But yeah, reportedly Manchester United are interested in him after he's reportedly had a fallout with Conte as David Luiz in the current process. And yeah, we will see what happens about that. But that's a big, big breaking news about that. Also, reportedly, another Manchester United target as well, Antoine Griezmann. And we know we've had quite a few targets. Mourinho missed out on quite a few targets back in August. Perisic, because wasn't willing to pay the £48 million for him. We know we were heavily linked with Bale, didn't get a deal over the line. We were preparing to pay up to £100 million for Bale. Fabinho, we're interested in him, and Griezmann as well. And Antoine Griezmann, as it's Man United's main priority target, but the reason we didn't get him in the current August window was due to that Atletico Madrid transfer ban, and he did estimate 6 out of 10 that he was coming to Old Trafford, Antoine Griezmann in the process. But reportedly now, as it did actually say the other day, that Barcelona have been linked to him, and it did say the other day in the press that Griezmann Antoine Griezmann has made a decision on his future, and he did say he had agreed a deal in principle to join Barcelona next summer, and it also said Barcelona had been in negotiations with Atletico Madrid over this, and it did say that Antoine Griezmann, it said Barcelona had agreed a deal in principle to sign Griezmann next summer, but reportedly now it's in the press that reportedly Manchester City, as we all know, spent a lot of money in the August window. Manchester City spent a lot of money, you know, did Manchester City, and reportedly still looking to add ranks. They're still looking to add a couple of more players into their team. We know they're heavily linked with Alexis Sanchez. But reportedly now that Pep Guardiola has reportedly held talks regarding Antoine Griezmann, so could possibly Manchester City make a move for Antoine Griezmann. As confirmed, Manchester City have made contact and been in negotiation with Atletico Madrid over this situation. So reportedly, Pep Guardiola has held talks with Antoine Griezmann over potentially making a move to Manchester City as well. But we know he's been heavily linked with a move to Old Trafford. We know that he's been heavily linked with a move to Old Trafford, but in the process we didn't get him due to Atletico Madrid's transfer ban as well. We know he signed a new deal back in June until 2022 as well. Griezmann scored 28 goals last season. As I said, you know, he'd be a fantastic number 7, would Antoine Griezmann, you know, at Man U, because we haven't had a good number 7, you know, for quite a long time, as we all know, in the current process. But looking like we have missed out on him. He does have a release clause. It is £89 million. His release clause next summer is Antoine Griezmann's his release clause 8. Yeah. His release clause £89 million next summer, but he's hard working, his versatility is very, very good. He's an efficient finisher, he's very, very clinical, he's Griezmann. But yeah, reportedly Manchester City now are a new team that have reportedly have been in discussions with Atletico Madrid over potentially making a move. And it would be good to see, you know, Antoine Griezmann come and experience the Premier League, as I said. But I think Antoine Griezmann is going to go, whether it's Barcelona, whether it's still United. There's a still possible chance he could come to United. But I think I disregard January. If it is going to happen, it will be next summer. And Manchester City maybe could get him because reportedly they've held talks. But Griezmann, you know, as I said, you know, he risen up thanks to Real Sociedad fantastically well. You know, very, very well. Won the title with them, and in 5 seasons, you know, he scored 52 goals in just over 2 century appearances for Real Sociedad as well. Very, very good in Euro 2016. Player of the tournament, top scorer, you know, also very, very good for France. Made his senior debut in 2014. Also helped France get to the quarterfinals in 2014 as well, the Griezmann. And now he's at Atletico Madrid, and this is his 4th season in the process of Atletico Madrid, and he's got a lot of experience of playing in Spain as Antoine Griezmann in the process, but we didn't get him due to the transfer ban. So reportedly now Manchester City are in talks with Griezmann. Reportedly Pep Guardiola now is potentially making a move, because Pep Guardiola is still looking at quite a few targets to get into his team, even though that he has spent a lot of money in the August window in the Manchester City team. But as I'm saying, the main part of this video is about David Luiz, as I said, because we know Conte, as he said in the press a couple of weeks ago, you know, was under pressure. He was saying, you know, Chelsea were convinced he wasn't actually going to see out his contract, because he has got a 3-year deal. You know, he won the Premier League with Chelsea in his 1st season. But they were talking about eyeing up replacements. You know, Carlo Ancelotti. You know, if Conte wasn't to last see out his 3-year deal, you know, he said Carlo Ancelotti could make a return to Stamford Bridge, because obviously Conte wasn't satisfied with Chelsea's, you know, August window. You know, because they missed out on quite a few targets. You know, they missed out on Alexandro. You know, Llorente. He had that interest in Vardy. And Chelsea still got quite a few players on their radar, you know, for the January window. You know, there were press reports coming out the other week. You know, they may go for there were press reports the other week saying they'll go for Barkley and, you know, Benteke, you know, in the January window. As I said, because Chelsea actually nearly got a deal over the line for Ross Barkley, but it never ever happened. Because obviously we know he's injured, is Ross Barkley. I think he did do a medical, but I think he pulled himself out and moved. He's currently injured. Ross Barkley comes to an end of his current deal with Everton at the end of the season. But I said Everton would rather cash in for him rather than let him go through next summer. And we know the majority of his career, you know, Ross Barkley's been at Everton. You know, he's been there since he was 11 years old. So he's been there now over a decade. As I said, it's also reported that Tottenham Tottenham have been interested in Ross Barkley as well in the current process. But as I said, he's been at Leeds United, Sheffield Wednesday on loan as well as Barkley. But he's made 150 appearances for Everton, scored 21 goals. I think that's just in the Premier League. But he created a lot more opportunities than a lot of players last season. So he was very, very good at creating opportunities, very, very clinical. So partly Chelsea could reconsider making a move for him. And also, you know, Conte just wants someone to partner with Morata. He wants someone to partner up with Morata because he thinks that's where Chelsea are lacking, you know, up in that front line. He wants someone to partner up with Morata. But saying about David Luiz, as I said, Chelsea did get players in, you know, they got Bakayoko and Rudiger and Morata in. They paid 70 million for Morata, but reportedly now about the David Luiz situation, he plays defensive mid, can play centre-back. Reportedly he's linked with a move to Manchester United because reportedly he's had a fallout with Conte in this situation. And David Luiz just doesn't feel satisfied with Conte, so reportedly now Jose Mourinho may be keen on reuniting with David Luiz after they worked together at Chelsea. As well, when Mourinho, of course, was at Chelsea as well. So that's a big breaking news about that. But also, you know, we know that we've got Mesut Ozil on our agenda, as we all know, because reportedly it did say, you know, Atletico Madrid are interested in Mesut Ozil as well. It did confirm the other day in the press because he's another Manchester United target. He's been linked to a move to Man United for the last 3 or 4 weeks now, at least, you know, since it broke out in the press. Because he's coming to an end of his deal. Arsenal, I think, are convinced he's not going to sign a new deal. Well, he did say he was demanding Jack Wilshere's number 10 shirt, you know, if he was to possibly, you know, sign a new deal with Arsenal Football Club. With Arsenal Football Club, Mesut Ozil, but reportedly it did confirm that Atletico Madrid have showed an interest. It did say Atletico Madrid have reportedly, you know, made contact with Ozil, and reportedly it did say they're willing to offer him a sign non-fee, and we're willing to offer him over £200,000 worth of wages, but obviously he's been demanding over £300,000 from Arsenal as Mesut Ozil as well in the current process. So he's been demanding a wage increase, and he did say Arsenal were willing to offload him £30 million. And it did say he was still 100% focused on Arsenal, was Mesut Ozil as well. But Mourinho classifies him as good number 10. He's also keen on reuniting with Mesut Ozil, you know, after Mourinho was fantastic with Mesut Ozil at Real Madrid, you know, during Ozil's 3 years with Real Madrid. We know he's also in Bundesliga for 5 years, was Mesut Ozil as well. And, you know, he's made those century appearances now for Arsenal. This is his 5th season in the process for Arsenal. Arsenal paid £42.5 million for him from Real Madrid. And it has confirmed that the contract talks have stalled, as we all know. So Arsenal are nowhere near in the process of securing him a new deal. But reportedly, Arsenal are willing to offload him £30 million. But reportedly, it's just said now in the press that Barcelona are reportedly interested in Mesut Ozil as well in the process. But I think he's good. He can create a chance. He can provide assists. And I'd love him at Manchester United, Mesut Ozil in the current process as well. But saying that, you know, this could depend on, you know, because Man United are reportedly interested in Saul Niguez as well, the current Atletico Madrid player. Reportedly, it did say he's actually reportedly considering making a move to Manchester United as well. That's another Jose Mourinho target as well. Is Saul Niguez, Atletico Madrid player who signed a 9-year deal. Back in July 2017, and he does have a release clause of £133 million. So reportedly, you know, Manchester United are interested in Saul Niguez, and reportedly that could depend on whether Atletico Madrid go for Ozil. So if we get the pursuit of Saul Niguez in January, then Atletico Madrid may consider making a move for Ozil in January as well in the current process. And also, as I did update you yesterday, you know, also he's not only Ozil coming to an end of his deal, you know, there's Jack Wilshere, you know, that's coming to an end of his deal with Arsenal Football Club as well. Jack Wilshere coming to an end of his deal. In the process, I don't think yet Arsenal have secured Jack Wilshere a new deal with their football club. I don't even think they've had the talk yet, but reportedly it did say that Real Betis yesterday in the press, you know, were actually reportedly interested in Jack Wilshere as well. They reportedly were interested in Jack Wilshere. Reportedly it did say Real Betis had made contact with Wilshere and his current representatives, and it did say Real Betis may want to go for him on a free transfer next summer, obviously when Wilshere comes to an end of his deal. I think he's earning about £90,000 a week at Arsenal Football Club as Jack Wilshere. But yeah, his combination, his play is very, very good. His link-up play is very, very good for Arsenal. And Arsenal, you know, and Arsene Wenger will be desperate, basically, that Jack Wilshere signs a new deal with Arsenal Football Club. Because obviously, you know, even with lack of game time, you know, that he's had this season with Arsenal Football Club, Jack Wilshere. You know, it's not looked very, very good, has it, to be quite honest. So, yeah, but Jack Wilshere's risen up the Arsenal youth system very, very well. You know, he joined Arsenal. What? All right. He joined Arsenal in October 2001. He'd been at Luton just before that. He risen up the ranks very, very well. As I said, he made his senior debut for England against Hungary. And he became Arsenal's youngest league debut in 2008. That was when he made his first Premier League debut in the first team against Blackburn. At just the age of 16, you know, he became the youngest player to play in European competition. That was in the Champions League as well. And, you know, he was very, very good in the FA Youth Cup as well, was Jack Wilshere in the current process. So, scored in the final against Liverpool. But he is a very, very good player. He's definitely made over century appearances now. He's also been on loan at Bournemouth, 27 appearances last season. I think he was injured last season on his loan spell with Bournemouth. Also been at Bolton before as well. But Arsenal will be desperate that he signs a new deal as well. But also Sanchez definitely... reportedly that City have reportedly Pep Guardiola's held talks with Griezmann, and City have been in contact with Atletico Madrid over maybe going for Antoine Griezmann. City have got quite a few targets, you know. Reportedly now Griezmann's on their radar, and we know Sanchez has been on City's radar basically since August, and City were actually, you know, so close, you know, to actually getting the pursuit of Alexis Sanchez in the current process. But Arsenal, don't forget, could have cashed £50-60 million in for Alexis Sanchez, as I said, but in the process, it never happened because obviously Arsenal couldn't find that replacement for Alexis Sanchez. But he did demand that he wants Champions League football. His first time in 2 decades, Arsenal have not had it. Sanchez versatility is very, very good. He can play attacking mid. We know he can play on each flank as well. And he's made over century appearances now since he's been at Arsenal. And Arsenal paid £35 million for him from Barcelona. I think Pep Guardiola's keen on actually, you know, reuniting with Sanchez. They were fantastic together at Barcelona. He's won 3 FA Cups in 4 seasons, you know, 2 FA Cups, well, 2 on 2 occasions he scored in the final. On his last season with Barcelona, that was his most successful campaign. He scored 21 goals there in his last season as well. Did Alexis Sanchez won honours with a play, and, you know, Cola, you know, and he's just risen up the ranks very, very well. So he's got experience of playing in Spain. He's now got the experience of playing in Premier League because he's in the Premier League now. This is his 5th season now in the Premier League. He's Alexis Sanchez, but as I said, he was also demanding a wage increase as well. But reportedly PSG reportedly still interested in Sanchez, and a lot of other teams have been interested in Sanchez. But I still think City emerged from want us to go on and get him. Whether they go and pay £20-30 million for him in January, or whether they you know, wait until he becomes a free transfer next summer and get him on a free next summer. But I think City could still consider going for Sanchez in January. But reportedly now Griezmann's on their agenda as well. So City spent a lot of money. You know, they've got Aguero in that team. You know, they've got Raheem Sterling in that team. That's also what Arsenal may be keen on, you know. If they're willing to offload Sanchez in January, Arsenal may recommend, you know, Sterling as part of the deal. There were talks about that back in August. You know, Wenger was keen on Sterling, you know, to replace Sanchez, but obviously City were reluctant and were resistant to offload Raheem Sterling because they still think he's a key player in City. Pep Guardiola still thinks he's a key target in City's team. He's a key player. But Sanchez, City were only keen on a cash-only deal for Alexis Sanchez as well in the current process. But I do think he's going to go. And Arsenal have had quite a few replacements out, as we all know, in the process. As I did suggest out, you know, it did say in the press the other week, actually, it was about Nabil Fekir, you know, from Lyon. He's basically looking to reunite with Lacazette. From Arsenal Football Club, because Arsenal purchased Lacazette for £52 million from Lyon, as we all know, and he's made a big impact for Arsenal since he's been at Arsenal Football Club as Lacazette. But reportedly, it did say Arsenal were closing on a deal of £60 million in January for Nabil Fekir, and it did say Arsenal willing to play a club record fee of £60 million. And reportedly, you know, it did say Arsenal were close because Nabil Fekir can play as attacking mid, he can play as a striker as well. Plays attacking mid, yes, he can play attacking mid. He can play as attacking mid, you know, he can play as a striker as well, can Nabil Fekir. And, you know, he's got 12 goals this season, you know, his last season he scored 10 goals, 10 assists, and he's good at creating, he can provide, very, very good. During 2015-16, he was injured, was the current player as well. He was injured, so he didn't feature, so he missed the majority of that season. In the 2014-15, you know, he scored 30 goals and 9 assists. And in his first season, you know, he made 17 appearances. And he got promoted into Lyon's senior team in 2013. And he's very, very good for France. He made his international debut in 2015 for France, as we all know. and you know, he raised up the youth system very, very well, and he became more of a regular in Lyon's first team in his second season as well. In the current process, I don't think Arsenal are going to revive the interest in Lamar. I think it did say Arsenal have now currently ended their interest in Lamar. And I don't think Arsenal may want to re-go for him. I'm not quite sure in the process. But as I said, the main part of this video is about David Luiz. As I said, reportedly he's had a fallout with Jose. He's had a fallout with Conte. David Luiz. I think this is his second season now in the process with Chelsea since he come back to Chelsea, you know, from Paris Saint-Germain. I think Mourinho had actually sold. Mourinho was in charge at the time when he actually sold. Sold Luiz to Paris Saint-Germain as well. So he's been at Benfica, you know, he won title with Benfica, you know, then went to Chelsea for 3 years, you know, won honours then. And then Paris Saint-Germain had bought him £50 million world transfer fee for the defender, £50 million at that time. So PSG had purchased him, and he was at PSG a couple of years, you know, won honours there as well. And then Chelsea had repurchased him back, you know, again, Chelsea got him back for £30 million. What? Yeah, I'm coming down now. And Chelsea had repurchased him for £30 million. And now his second season since he's come back to Chelsea. And he's in all in the Premier League, he's made 122 appearances. So he's made over 100 appearances, scored 8 goals as David Luiz. So reportedly, Mourinho is keen on reuniting with David Luiz. But he's a good player. He can play as centre mid, can play at the centre back as well. But we have got centre backs, haven't we? You know, well, we've had fantastic centre backs in the past. You know, but I remember when we had Nemanja Vidic Ferdinand, they were fantastic centre back partnership. We've now got centre backs, you know, of Bailey and Jones that have complemented each other this season fantastically well as well. So reportedly, you know, Chelsea, even if they're willing to offload him, they may recommend they want the similar amount of fee that they purchased him for from Paris Saint-Germain back in 2016 as well in the process. So we'll see what happens about that. So anyway, guys, something to update today. Drop your comments, likes, below, and if you do, consider subscribe as always, and take it easy, and I'll see you all later. Bye.